good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or whatever time of day it is it happens to be for you. And welcome to another episode of INCRadio Florida. I'm Brother Robert Paulus, one of your hosts here on INCRadio Florida. And we're so happy to have you joining us today because today we've got now, I don't want to say a bunch of special guests that are going to be joining to help share with us their love of these interests that have bonded the relationships between fathers and sons. I mean, I think what father and son doesn't want to bond over a hobby, right? But before we do that, I want to toss this over to Sister Joy, who's there in Orlando, who's going to give us our international greetings because we are an international program. So good morning, Sister Joy. How are you?
Good morning, Brother Robert, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you who are joining us. We want to say hello, bonjour, hola, guten morgen. That's good morning, right? But it's wherever you are tuning in from. As Brother Robert mentioned, we are all across the globe, and we are so delighted to have all of you joining us. So no matter where you are, no matter what time it is, please be sure that you comment on our channel and say hello, and let us know where you're tuning in from, because we appreciate you. We love you all joining, and we do have quite the topic today that I'm really excited to discuss because it's all about love, right? And how we bond. So excited to dive into it, excited to discuss about all of this stuff because it really is near and dear to all of our hearts.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sister Joy. We are talking, if you can't see it here on our title here, we're going to be talking about bonding over things that we love. And this happens to be a pretty special edition because we're going to be talking to some dads and their sons over very similar hobbies. I mean, when you talk about hobbies that really bring people together, you normally think about things like, oh, like for me growing up, it was going fishing or going to baseball games or, doing a lot
Classic.
of camping, for example, right? These are things that commonly dads and sons, over the years, those are more traditional ways that they're bonding. Well, the world's evolving, right? And the interests in the world are continuing to grow. So we've got a couple of guests that I'm really excited to share today that I'm sure they bond over lots of things, but some unique common interests that I wanted to have them share with you. So we're going to start off by introducing them, and we're going to go all the way up to the Panhandle of Florida and introduce someone who I think you guys are probably going to remember. He's
Pretty
pretty
familiar,
familiar on
right?
the show, right? He's we miss him dearly, and we're so happy that he's back. But we'd like to introduce him now. If you would mind introducing yourself and your tag along there, Brother Jim.
Sure. Thank you, brother. Happy to be back. And
it's me.
It's you.
It's you.
My name's Luke.
Yeah, this is Luke, my son, and my name is Jim. And we live. Where do we live?
We live in the Panhandle of Florida.
Right.
And do you know why they call it the Panhandle, Brother Luke?
Looks like a panhandle, then.
Yeah, it is.
It looks like
something.
a panhandle. Yeah, show the house. It's long and skinny.
Long and skinny. So, and what is it that we're going to be talking about that you and your dad love so much today, Brother Luke?
Well, the thing that I love is monster trucks, like on my shirt.
Monster trucks. Oh man, that's very cool. That's very unique for a lot of people to bond over. So thank you. We're going to be coming back to you because I have lots of questions for you, Brother Luke. Okay, lots of questions. So start thinking. But before we jump into your monster truck love, I want to take it back down here to the west coast of Florida and introduce our next father and son duo. Brother Chris, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hello, I'm Brother Chris, and this is my son Jace. And we're in Tampa, Florida.
In Tampa, and what is it that the two of you have bonded over?
We bonded over Pokemon cards, or Pokemon in general.
It's Pokemon in general. So it's more than just the cards.
Yeah, more than the cards.
I hear that there's like a whole Pokemon universe thing, right?
Yeah.
That, like,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the amusement park, Sister Joy.
No pun intended there, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when you talk about Pokemon, people traditionally kind of I think relate to the show, right? Because that's what kind of kicked off the whole thing. But like, what are there now with Pokemon? What else is in that Pokemon universe?
That's a question. I don't like. There's a lot of things like Pokemon cards. What else? There's this game called Pokemon Go,
Hmm.
Pokemon TCG, and then what else is there?
Pokemon games on Nintendo Switch and
Ooh, yeah, the gaming console. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a whole culture thing that's sort of formed around this the game that started it all, right, years ago. And then now there's this whole culture that's sort of formed where people are just so drawn to the cards and collecting them, which is what we're going to be talking about with you guys. And but going back to Brother Jim and Brother Luke, when you talk about the monster trucks, obviously when people think about monster trucks, they think about these big mega shows, right, where you've got these arenas and the loud noises and everything else. But with monster trucks, are there other things with monster trucks? Like, are there games? Are there television shows? Or the things that you watch that also are related to it?
Yes, I like that.
Yeah. I think to get into really how Luke got into monster, because he got into monster trucks
Yes.
before I did. He was watching, and he couldn't have been more than 2 years old. So he was watching on YouTube a show where this guy would do commentary on monster trucks video games, and he really loved it for whatever reason. What did the guy say? Huh?
A big time mayor.
Yeah. So I knew at an early age if I really wanted to find something I could connect with Luke, it was monster trucks. So monster trucks became the mechanism for potty training. Because
Oh, you have to give us some instruction on that.
yeah, remember. So when would you get a monster truck when you were getting potty trained, huh?
I do not like potty train.
You don't want to talk about it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to embarrass you, son.
That was a traumatic experience.
Right, yeah, but it was every time he would anyway. So he has the toys. Do you have a lot of monster truck toys?
Yeah.
Yeah, and where do we play with the monster truck?
Indoor, and I also have a sandbox
Yeah.
right outside.
And so you put the monster trucks in there, and you can play with the monster trucks in the sandbox to kind of like pretend you're in the arena. Is that what that does?
No, giants are not in
Wait, no, but you're gonna move.
I am not in a.
Yeah, he's just talking about it. You're playing with them though, pretending that it's in the arena, right? Like, where are we gonna go tomorrow to play on the beach, right? Do you like to play with monster trucks on the beach?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you are going through this phase where you started to realize his love for monster trucks, Brother Jim, you obviously weren't into it at the time. So that was what drew you into it.
Yeah, and as it turned out, we have an arena here in Pensacola that has a Monster Jam show once a year, and so that was my first real connection with it. So when we went to watch that show, it was awesome, huh? Do you think it's awesome to watch the monster truck?
Yes.
All
So
right.
I have a question, Brother Jim. So because you saw that enthusiasm in Luke, right, when he was just a toddler, and then you brought him to this monster show. Do you think that's what sparked when you saw that love that he had in there? It's like, do you feel like that is what inspired you? Like, this is what we're going to bond over. I do enjoy. You genuinely enjoy it. Do you feel like that's what has brought that bond, that similar interest together?
Yeah, that's so well put, Sister Joy, because honestly, I knew he loved it, and I was gonna find a way to love it, whether I was gonna do it. But it turned out I really enjoy it, and it happens that I have family spread across the United States, so you know, a lot of times when we're going on a family trip, we try to coordinate it with a monster truck show. So yeah, so we're trying to spread the monster truck love, right?
Oh, that's
Yes, 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 yes.
yes.
Yes,
With all the
absolutely. The resounding yes. Well, I want to toss back to Brother Chris. And Brother Jace. I got a question. Then, when you obviously started your love for monster trucks, how did that whole evolution for you guys happen, Brother Jim and Luke? For them, it was Luke's interest that kind of got Brother Jim into it. What about for you guys? Was it kind of the same, or were you into it already?
Well, for me, I was into it already. Um, when I was younger, it was back then in 1998, and Pokemon was like popular back then. And it just died out like as I grew older, and then seeing my son watching Pokemon for the first time, I just thought like, okay, it might be something we could bond on something. And then later on, it just got more intense. We started buying him like Pokemon toys, like Pokemon balls and stuff like that. And we would play around, and he would throw the ball at me and say he caught a Snorlax, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a Pokemon now.
You know what that is? That's so neat.
So then as we grow up, we have families, and you start to sort of have this initial interest when you were younger. I guess now his love for it is kind of, I think in your words, re-energized your love or your interest for it as well.
Yes, yes. I'm glad that I kind of passed it on a little bit.
Mhm.
More. He's actually not a little bit, a lot more than me. He's like, I want to beat you, Dad. I want to be the Pokemon master. Not gonna
Very
lie, he's like,
competitive.
he
There you
knows
go. It's
more
not
Pokemon
just
than
a
I do.
bond. It's a
He was in the
competition
competition,
now.
but yeah, yep.
So who's the who knows more about Pokemon at this point, Brother Jace? You or your father?
Me.
Sure. And you see how much confidence he said that with? He's extremely confident about knowing exactly what's the now. Obviously, one of the things about Pokemon is that it's not just this hobby with games and stuff, but I mean, card collecting is like a serious thing, like expensive in some cases, right? Is
Yes.
that like how many cards would you guys estimate you guys have already?
Ooh.
Um, more than
More
1,000.
than you care to admit, since Sister Karen's
Yes,
probably listening. Is that why?
yes, more. I can. You can.
I have to ask. With that, because I'm not much of a card collector, so enlighten me here. Where do you keep your collection, and how I guess for me, because I'm not a card collector, enlighten me. Like, so what are the things that are you looking for, and how do you store those? How do you store your cards?
It all depends. So it gets more broader than just collecting. Like, say for example, if there's a certain set of Pokemon card or Pokemon genre. Um, like for example, Jace is collecting like this thing called temporal forces, and that's like his own genre itself. And he would
Temporal.
just collect that that particular card set, and
Ah,
then so he would collect that, and that's what we aim for in that particular set. And he would put it in a binder, and sometimes we just put it in a box, boxes that we don't like.
So when you're looking at like how you're collecting, because obviously there's some organization involved. Because I think when you're young, you just grab things because you think that they're cool, right? The colors are cool, the characters are cool, and then now because it is that there's some definite value to the cards. For the Jace, when you look at it now, is it more around like, I know this is a rare card, so I want to acquire it, versus, oh, I don't know how much this is worth, but this is just really cool? Is that what's your approach to collecting?
Um, my approach is like whatever catches my eye or whatever looks cool, and if it has like a price, I'll ask. But sometimes we don't get it.
You'll ask your dad for money. Is that what you're asking? Or?
This is when your selling skills come in, right, Chase? And you're
Yeah.
like, Dad, this is really rare. And
Yeah,
this
he's like, Dad, this is an investment. This could pay for my college education if we play this right. So well, and so brother Jim, I got to ask you with Luke, when you guys started going to these monster truck shows, obviously his interest and his excitement around them, right? His enthusiasm was what drove you to want to start getting into it. And now that you're going to these events, like how often do you guys go to a monster truck show? I have no idea how frequent they are, but
Well, we try to go as often as we can. So we've had years where we've got to see like 4 shows in a year. We usually do. We're always going to do Pensacola, right? Because that's our home base, and it comes every year. And we actually get a couple shows here. So we'll see Monster Jam and then the All Star. And what do you get to do in the All Star? What do you like when we go there?
Well, you can ride 2 monster trucks.
Yeah.
you get to ride them.
Hey, you could ride,
But they're not that fast.
Yeah.
but they're monster trucks. So I'm sure, are they small or are they really?
No, they're the full size monster trucks. You kind of sit in the bed. They have seating for it, but they do donuts and stuff, which is pretty cool, right? Yeah.
Well, I've got to ask a question though. What makes a truck a monster truck? I mean, this sounds pretty remedial, but you're talking to somebody who's kind of ignorant to the monster truck genre. So what makes a monster truck a monster truck?
What would you say a monster truck is? Why is it different?
Because it has bigger tires.
Yeah.
Bigger tires. Are the tires bigger than you and your dad? How big are the tires? Are they taller than you, Brother Luke?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh,
What about the the big roll cage on the inside, and what other things about the monster trucks that are cool?
Well, they have great tires and great suspensions, and they also have chassis.
They also have-
chassis.
Yeah.
Like-
I think that's a very technical term he's using now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is technical beyond me.
Yeah. What and what are they able to do that other trucks can't do? Yeah. Do they do big jumps?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
big time air.
Yeah.
Like, how
Big
big
time
are these
air.
jumps? All the way in the air? Like, is it bigger than another car? Or is it like something that could just go over like something really small?
You crush cars sometimes.
Oh,
And like jump
Oh,
like this.
Yeah.
I wish I had a truck like that here in Tampa sometimes when I'm trying to travel on I-4, trying to get to Orlando.
look out, Brother Robert's coming.
The monster truck. So, Brother Jim, when you go to these activities, what's your favorite part about going to these activities with Luke?
I mean, truly is to watch his excitement. Especially and to share the exhilaration and sometimes the heartbreak. I noticed now that he's gotten older, if his favorite truck doesn't do what he thinks it should be doing, he gets a little upset. So, which I kind of get a kick out of. but remember the one show that Gravedigger didn't do that well? How did that make you feel?
I was still kind of excited.
Yeah, he still likes it, but yeah,
It's a little disappointed, right?
It's
in
okay
the
to
outcome.
be disappointed
Yeah.
in what you were expecting, Luke. That's all right.
Yeah, I have a lot of football teams that have disappointed me over the years, and continue to do so. But well, and so, Brother Chris, the same with you. I mean, obviously, you had this love or this passion for it as as a younger person. I won't say a child, but as a younger person. But now, when you're watching and you go to these activities, I think you mentioned in the beginning of the show that you and Brother Jace got to go to your first convention. Like, what was that like, being able to go to an activity with him and all of these other people that are into this I don't want to call it a craze, but with this hobby?
At first, when we went to the convention, we never thought that we would ever go to one, due to like being too expensive. The hobby is too expensive in itself. Um, but like Brother Jim mentioned too, I support what he's mentioned. Like it's sometimes heartbreaking too once you go to a convention and there's like some disappointments. Actually, one time, there's this one card that Jason wanted to get. It's his favorite Pokemon is Greninja, and I wanted to get it for him, but then the price was just over the budget. It's like $300 just for one card.
For one card?
One card, and then I'm like, I'm gonna have to get it some other time. And just seeing him, it was disappointing. So yeah.
Oh,
That's when you go, but just think that could pay for my car.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Wow, that's a lot of money. That's holy moly. That's a
You know what though? I do have to ask though. So aside from like, of course, we mentioned about the cards, but during this convention, right, there are other different, there are other different, I'm sure, booths and things like that that have this theme. So when you guys are there, because that's pretty big, a convention, right? A Pokemon convention. So for you, Brother Chris, when you walked in there, what was the highlight of that? Walking in there with your boy, you walk in there, you guys are going into this, kind of take us back and take us on that journey with you. So like, you guys you pull up to the garage, right? You go into here. What's going on?
A lot of things. First, we talk about like, oh, we have a budget,
Okay.
which we never followed.
Yeah, I was gonna say the first thing was I'm not paying $300 for Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Let's lay this out now before you go in, right?
Yeah. As we walked there, it felt like a lot of like theme parks. When you're excited the first time, you go inside there. It's very exciting, and just seeing the smile of Jace going like as we walk to the convention is just priceless. But as we get in more in depth inside the convention, it was just like, oh wow, there's a booth over there, or there's a blow up like Pokemon, like where you can take pictures, and they ask you like, oh, what team are you in? Are you like red or blue? And we look at ourselves like, what team are we in? And we're just like, oh, whatever it is.
He's like, I didn't know I had to pick a team.
Yeah. But mainly the reason why we went to the convention is because Brother Jace here follows YouTubers, and they actually hosted the convention, and we were supposed to meet like a bunch of YouTubers, which we did. It was very exciting. The one thing that he wanted to meet was unfortunately like he was too busy to meet and greet, and so that's one other thing that was disappointing.
Yeah, well, it just means you keep going, you get more, you get more familiar with it, especially at those conventions. So when you go to these activities, though, so same thing, I guess, to brother Jim, try. There's always this desire, I think, in dads to kind of want our kids to love the same thing that we love. Like, we force hobbies on them. You're gonna enjoy fishing whether you like it or not. And you're gonna love it. But with this, I mean, obviously, this was something where he expressed the interest in it. But have there been things that you've had that were like hobbies that you really felt passionate about that you wanted to introduce him to that maybe he didn't take a liking to as much as you thought?
Well, I think like with playing with things, I would watch the Star Wars. I was a big kind of like brother Jason saying he was in a Pokemon when he was young. When I was little, I really liked Star Wars. It happens Luke isn't because of Luke Skywalker. It is because my my dad. But yeah, he's not into Star Wars that much. And it's funny. I feel like when he was little and I would try to introduce him to it, he would actually just play seemingly just to make me happy. Like he's kind of like, oh, and then kind of looking at his, it's
like, oh yeah, Dad, that's a really cool starship there.
What if Han Solo drove a monster truck, Dad?
Just trying to appease his father.
So
Have you ever used that line? Have you ever used that line? I have to ask, Brother Jim.
Oh yes, of course.
Luke, I am your father. Have you ever had to use that line? Have you?
Yeah, and it's completely lost on him, but I get it.
Yeah. One day it will dawn on him and go,
That's from a movie.
Right. But no, I think going back like Brother Jay said, like going to those pit parties and everything like that, you get to the point where it is so much about their excitement, it becomes your excitement. And like, what do you love about going to the pit parties?
Well, you can meet the drivers and talk to them, whatever.
Yeah, and like you mentioned with YouTube and everything else, we have all these different ways to connect with our hobbies now, whether it's toys or individuals and commentators and everything else. That is, as much as I would have loved to go to a Star Wars convention with him or something like that, I'm very content to kind of discover this whole world of Monster Jam, right?
Who knows? They may have a monster truck / Star Wars convention someday. It can happen if there's a mutual interest. Well, I've got to ask this question though to one of our new parents that's here, Sister Audrey, since I see that you're there. What kind of interest do you think that Brother RJ would want to bond over with baby Jay?
I don't know, Kuya Chris. Can you answer that question for me? No, my loving husband is always like as much as he gets so fixated on certain interests. I think what Brother Jim said and attested to. It's all about your kids' excitement, right? Because you just see their whole world light up, and to see them attached to something that they love and care about, it's a lot. It's so fulfilling. So I'm hoping it's going to be a combined family interest of volleyball and swimming and sports and just being active, so that we can all get out and get some energy out and come home tired.
And if he decides to gravitate towards sitting there and playing video games all day, is that going to be disappointing for you?
Not disappointing, just not what I wanted.
But remember, it's not about what you want; it's what they want.
oh dear.
I know, but I mean, it's just I would anything that could just get them to just find interest and pleasure in doing things, and then carry that out through other daily functions. I think it'll be something great.
Very cool, Brother Chris. I got to ask you as we're wrapping up here, what advice would you give to a parent who is struggling to try to find a hobby that they could bond with over their child?
Just try new things like every week, or try something different. And then if that piques their interest, just go strongly heavy on it, and hopefully you guys can bond more. And no pressure on the child. Just don't pressure the child. Just have fun with it.
Yeah, don't stick a volleyball in their hand if they're not interested, right? Is that what you're getting at?
But if he grabbed it,
I was going to say, I think Jamie wouldn't mind if you put a volleyball in front of him.
Yeah.
Fair. That's a fair comment. So, Brother Jim, do you have any shout outs that you and Brother Luke would like to make? We want to thank you, of course, for being on the show.
Yeah, Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah.
Grandma and Grandpa. Very cool. Very cool.
Guys, some of your cousins?
Not right now.
Not right now.
There's too many of them.
Save that. That's going to be the best line. All right. Brother Chris, Brother Jace, do you guys have any shout outs?
No.
No?
Shout out to RJ, Tristan, all our Pokemon team over there.
All right. Okay. I'm sure Sister Karen will have something to say about that later, but But we'll take that. That's all right. Well, we'd like to thank everybody today for joining. We are the fastest 30 minutes on radio, of course, and we're now at the the top of the hour for us. But of course, we'd like to, before we go, thank, of course, our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, along with our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Rania Manalo, for helping in the production of this program and continuing to support it, along with our station manager, Brother Wally Taray, and of course, to our executive producer, the one, the only, Brother Manly Andaya. So we want to thank everyone for joining us today on INC Radio Florida. We'd like to thank our guests, Brother Luke and Brother Jim from there in Pensacola, and their love for monster trucks, to Brother Chris and Brother Jace, who introduced me to the wonderful world of Pokemon, and of course to Brother Tristan and Brother and Sister Audrey, and to Sister Joy, our co-hosts here. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll see you next week on INC Radio Florida.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.